Welcome to the latest episode of Tapped In with Tony. It's your host, Tony Bogan. And tonight, I present to you a rapper and a producer and founder of Breakthrough Studios, Charles Pratt, aka Too-Be Fresco. Welcome to the program.
What's up, Tony, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying this weather. It's finally not raining. It was, believe it
Oh,
or not, it was cold. It was like cold and
yeah.
snowed 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I know, dude. I was out, excuse me, just now at Crocker Park making some quick errands, and it went from like feeling pretty good to like, yo, I need a jacket.
Oh yeah, that's Ohio for you. It'll be 80 during the day, and then it'll drop
Man,
to 5.
man, you're not wrong, Tony.
Yep. Talk to me about introduce yourself to the crowd for those who are just probably tuning in for the first time.
Yo, my name is Charles Pratt. A lot of people may know me as Too-Be Fresco. Tony has the privilege of knowing me as Ciro Del Fresco. Um, but I am a musician, as well as I'm the owner and the head engineer of Breakthrough Sound Recording Studio in Valley View, Ohio.
Nice, nice. And how did you get involved in music? And we both went to Shaker Heights High
Yeah,
School, both
yeah,
graduated
yeah.
class of 2010. So tell me how you got involved in music.
Yeah, man. So, excuse me. About 10 years old, wanted to be like my favorite artist, which I don't regret to say this. My favorite artist at the time was Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo, man. That's who I like. That's what I listen to. But I figured what better way to meet your favorite musician or your favorite artist than to do what they do. So I started writing. From there, I'm like, yo, this is kind of cool. I think I like doing this. So um, kept on doing it. It progressed from there, man. Started a rap group when I was in middle school with my two of my friends. Shout out William, shout out Isham. Um, and they were super off into sports. I was a kid who literally didn't do nothing but music. So they gave me their blessing, man. I'll never forget. They gave me their blessing when I was like 16 or 17. They were just like, yo, you're in this way more than we are, so you go ahead and do it. And from there, I went on and did it. So yeah, that's kind of like a little background.
That's amazing, man, because especially back in the day, yeah, because I know I'd see people saying, "Hey, check out my mixtape." And we both went to school with this guy named Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep.
I wonder what he was up to.
Yeah,
Great.
what that guy is up to. That's crazy. Haven't seen him ever.
Yep. And tell me about your first mixtape you dropped your senior year of high school, and you dropped quite a few of them. But tell me about producing your first one.
Bro, the fact that you remember that is wild. Um, uh, so 17, 16, 16. Um, got a little bit of money from my mom, got my first mic. I was already making beats, already had stuff planned. I just needed to actually learn how to record. So for you know quite a few months to maybe a year or so, I just practiced recording and like did all of that stuff. And found myself with this little collection of what I called a mixtape. And I was super like hype about it, super thrilled about it. uh Mr. Holiday, shout out Mr. Holiday.
Happy belated birthday, Mr. Holiday.
Happy
Yeah, birthday.
birthday, right? I gotta call him. But I told him, like, yo, this is what I got going on, this is what I want to do. And he was like, all right, bet. I'll help you. So he's seen me using in the graphics room. We would use, like, we have all of the computers lined up, like 12 computers. So I had my mixtape on each computer, and like go to each to burn the CDs. So he was like, nah, I'm gonna get you together. So he brought his CD duplicator, first time I ever seen one of those joints. He taught me how to use it, and from there, man, it was on, dude. But yeah, just some obviously industry beats that I was rapping on. Then I had a couple joints that I had produced myself on there, but definitely stepping stone, bro. Learning curve for sure.
Absolutely. And what would you say, as far as 2000s, who would you say are your artists that you, besides Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo, who you mentioned
Mhm.
earlier, who
All right.
are some of the artists that you had, wanted to emulate or who you looked up to?
I'm a soul head, bro. I'm a soul music head. Stevie Wonder is like top guy for me. Stevie Wonder and Prince, top guys. But at that time, Stevie Wonder for sure. The way I sing, the way I play, all of even like a lot of things from like songwriting um, comes from that inspiration. So Stevie Wonder, Prince, now modern day I listen to a lot of Christian music. So people like I Am Rescue, people like Via Music, people like Grace Tenna. It's a lot of artists. Peter Collins,
And
bro. It's so many different artists um, who are just like super inspirational, and you just learn a lot from. You learn a lot from just watching artists, which is one of the best methods of learning.
absolutely. Just especially like one of my favorite producers, like Dr. Dre, DJ
Mm,
Khaled, Pharrell, the way he
bro,
sings and does
we
music.
talking about producers, man. Listen, Kanye West. When I heard Late Registration, my life was changed.
Oh,
My life was changed. Music and production was not the same to me after I heard Late Registration.
oh wow.
That is one of the most masterfully crafted albums. So, dog, yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, because it takes a special genius to like master something, especially like also if you can master to multiple genres. Like one of
Man,
my favorites is Pharrell because he could do rap, R&B, rock
man,
music,
yeah.
pop music, anything. I mean,
Mhm.
he went from doing stuff with the clips to doing the soundtrack for Despicable Me.
Right, right, right. But that's tenure, man. That's like, yo, I've been doing this for however long. Like, I know what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. That's what you strive for as an artist. So yeah, no, that's cool.
Yep. And talk about your sound throughout the 2010s, early part of the 2010s. You had a couple mixtapes. I do have a couple of the songs, Jet's Life and
Oh no.
Go to LA.
Why are you doing this to me, man? What?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I had the CD saved for a while, but unfortunately, like it broke and I couldn't find like a lot of the songs. But I had a couple of them that I had on my phone. I still bump a couple of the tracks.
Oh man, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, it was a time, boy. That was a time, man. I was trying to find myself, dude. I was just trying to find what stuck. Like what did I like making that I also felt would get me popping and like
Oh,
get heard. Um, that in and of itself, uh, began to lead to me not really being happy with music for a while. Um, I made some cool joints, like it was some cool records, but um, it was just such a time of discovery, dude. It was a time.
oh yeah. Yeah, because did you ever tour like outside of Ohio, do any concerts outside of there, or how
I
how do
did.
how are people receptive to your music like outside of the Greater
I
Cleveland area?
remember, 2017, we were on a little tour and we went to LA for a festival performance. And I remember The venue wasn't large at all, but we're the Cleveland Cats, so don't nobody out there know us. Everybody out there, look checking for whoever else. So we get on stage, we setting up all of that stuff. When we started performing, the audience was like, it wasn't a whole lot of folks. By the time we got through like halfway of our last song, I remember looking up and I noticed that venue was packed. There was a lot of people in there, and the venue was not big at all.
Wow.
So that always stuck out to me because I'm just like, yo, if you could make these LA cats, these West Coast cats, like listen, that means you could do something, especially just pop it up on the scene super cold, don't nobody know us, nothing like that. So great opportunity. People, were really receptive to the music. And even still now, when I let people hear some of the stuff that I've been quietly working on, people have still been, you're like, oh man, this is great. And I was like, thanks.
That's amazing, man. Going out to LA, especially when some guy named Kendrick Lamar had an album that did pretty well, and
Right.
you got plenty of LA artists like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, etc., that cut their teeth in LA. And for you guys to come from Ohio out there, and you fulfilled that song. I want to go to LA. Six
Yo,
years later, you went to LA.
legit, man. That was my goal, bro. I have been wanting to get to LA since I was 16 years old. And I finally had the opportunity to do it. Tony, you don't understand. That was highlight. Mind you, I didn't get a chance to enjoy it when I was out there because we were just like focused on, well, at least I was focused on a gig. My band members was focused on being unfocused. So I
Mm,
was trying to keep everybody like, yo, we out here for this reason, y'all. But it was still great, man. A great experience. I have yet to go back because everything has been busy here with the studio, but in due time.
awesome. Yep, I definitely, yeah. Because do you ever see yourself like down the line, like going to any, like doing any bigger venues or possibly doing Coachella? Because I
Oh,
know that's a huge festival out in
dude,
California.
that's a massive festival that might be a little bit out of my control if I could do it or not. I don't know. But my phrase that I use is wherever the Lord wants me is where I'll be. Because I didn't know that would be doing a recording studio. So now, literally, wherever He wants me is where I will be.
Amen to that. And speaking of which, you changed up your music style from 17 to
Oh yeah,
present day. What led to that change? And eventually you creating the Breakthrough Studios.
yeah, man. So I was already, like I said, I was already kind of becoming unenthused with rap and music. It just was not feeling the same. I remember trying to write flex tracks and I couldn't. Flex track is basically where you just talking stuff. You just talking mess. I ain't talking about nothing, but it's talking mess. I couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't think of nothing. So I was just unenthused with it. Um 2018 comes about, or back up even more. 2015, before this, a guy from Shaker named Andre Tarver, he reached out to me and he kept asking me like, "Yo, I want to do music. Can you like help me?" And I'm like, "No, that's not what I do. This is I record my own music. I don't record anybody else." But he did not stop. He kept asking, and I finally stopped saying no. We got together and I'm like, yo, this is actually really cool. I get to do music and work with someone else's voice that's not my own. Um, so we started doing that. I wanted to open a studio then, about 2016, right? I had no money, so that went straight out the window. Um, so fast forward 2018, I start working in the studio, downtown Cleveland, and it was great. First time working in the studio, learned a lot of what to do and what not to do. Learned a lot of like the good and the bad. Um, and around the same time, that August, I had given my life to Christ and I had joined the church for the first time in my life. So I was a lot of firsts in 2018. And I remember I started in that studio in July. Was there for a few months, and I remember around September, dude, the thought of opening my own studio was just like, it just like it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. Like I was like, man, I really want to open my own studio, but I was in contract with them until the following year. That studio closed 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, freshly just joined the church, just gave my life to Christ, and I'm like, all right, okay, listen, God, if I don't think you play with people like this, but uh, if this is not what you want for me, please don't let me be near it. Because I knew I wanted to open a studio. I knew that was a desire of my heart because the thought was exhilarating, dude. Oh, I just remember like how it felt just to think about it. And I was like, Lord, this is dangerous for me if this is not what you want for me. So I can't be near it. Like, don't even let me be near the idea. And he answered my prayers with provision, man. It was like step after step, it was provision. Didn't have money for a deposit. He made provision for us to get it. Didn't even have a place to pay a deposit to, but he made provision for us to find a location. Lost my job the following February, 4 months before we were supposed to open. He made provision, like so much stuff, man, so much stuff. And looking at all of that, it's just like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. This is the next stage of my life. Um, and that's where we've been since 2019. Is planning and putting resources and efforts into breakthrough. Uh, to bring this vision to life for us and to bring it to life for all of our clients, man.
That's amazing. And you started in 2019. How did COVID impact the business? Because you couldn't do any gigs, couldn't
Right.
do any concerts.
Mhm.
Everything was virtual. So,
Yeah.
what effect did COVID have on you guys?
So we had to close down for about a month and a half. We closed down from March 25th through April 30th or whatever that is. So about a month and a week or so. um, the moment that and we closed because of like the governor's restriction, right? The moment we was able to open back up May 1st, it was on and popping, bro. It was crazy. We were rocking. So people must have been at home for that month, just going crazy, just writing as much music as they possibly could. Um, and we were rocking, man. All glory to God, dude. I just remember looking at it like, yo, this is can't really believe this is happening, but I couldn't like bask in that thought process too much because I had to start learning how to manage it. Because we had been doing well, top of 2020, whatever. We had seen increase, but it wasn't like it was after once the COVID restrictions or COVID began to happen. People were just, hey, I just need to record. I need to, because we didn't close. So throughout COVID, other than the time um, that the governor mandated the shutdowns, we didn't close. We stayed open. And
Wow.
I think that was one thing, that people had the opportunity to experience us at that time. We did a lot of cool projects during that time, dude. I forgot COVID was even happening, honestly.
Wow.
Um, in a sense, because we were still hypersensitive about cleaning and all of that stuff, but it was our livelihoods, you know. We like I know came to a point. Well, 2020, it was my only job. It was my other engineer's only job. So it was our livelihoods. If we closed, we wouldn't have made it. But again, all glory be to God. We stayed open. our faith kept pushing us, and ultimately the Lord, he took care of us, man. We marketed, we promoted, we did all that stuff, and we was rocking. So we kept going.
Amazing that COVID barely had an impact on you. In fact, if
Bro,
anything, you guys grew and did. What kind of projects did you guys do?
man, dude, that summer, I think that summer I recorded, I finished the first full length project I had with the client. Um, I was starting to do production for people. I had picked up a bunch of new clients. Um, we were doing a podcast, not us, but we were producing a podcast slash radio show. We were we had freaking listening events. Like it was crazy. It was
Wow.
like if the police would have came and like see the stuff that we were doing, we would have got shut down because we're in the height of COVID. That we got a facility packed full of people for a listening event. We would have been shut down. But again, thank the Lord, nobody got sick. Everything was okay. Everything was good. So
So God provided.
God provided for sure.
And once COVID finally subsided, you guys started hosting concerts. I assume you mixed and engineered albums for multiple clients. When was the first concert that you guys had? The first benefit concert, and how was that? Like
Sure.
being from the side of actually performing to the side of engineering a concert.
Right. So we didn't start having concerts until we moved to our current facility. We were before here. We were in Bedford, downtown Bedford, in an 800 square foot office space in the basement. Um, I mean, we had what we needed though, which was good. I don't want to make it seem or sound like we didn't. We had what we needed, but there we could only do so much because it wasn't a lot of space, right? So we got this location the end of 2020, so in December, built it out, opened this location February 28th of 21. Um, from there, we had our first event in. Technically, we had our first event in May, but the first ticketed event where we sold tickets was our first open mic night, and that was in July. We expected 50 people. That night, seeing over 100 people in and out of this place, and at that time, we didn't have as much space here as we do now. So this hallway was a sardine can. It was
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
But it was absolutely amazing. Um, so from there, that October, we acquired our Studio C, which is in the rear of our facility, and we started, preparing it, started putting stuff together, yada yada yada. And by February of 22, we hosted our first event back there, which was the NBA All Star Weekend.
Mm.
And we did an open mic for the All Star Weekend. We did an open mic on the Saturday, and the Sunday we did a DJ battle. And that scene again, well over 100 folks here. Then from there, the end of 2022, we hosted our third open mic night, which was supposed to be like an outdoor festival. However, we got rained in, so we had to move the venue. Um, but that was over 200 people who came, and we couldn't have it here because we didn't have enough space. So we had it at a different venue. So all of that to say, um, it is because I've thrown my own shows before, right? I remember I've booked venues. I've kind of had that experience where you have to set up the logistics. Again, all glory to the provision of the Lord. I've been able to do that. So the knowledge was like kind of there already, right? So when it came time to start to plan for concerts here, it was almost like I had a leg up because I kind of know a little bit of the logistics to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So from there, man, January of this year, we built a 20-foot stage, and it's been on and popping, bro.
Wow.
We've been hosting a lot of concerts. We've had quite a few concerts this year already, and more coming up. We're hosting a wedding in June. It's quite a bit of stuff happening. Yeah,
God really provided for you in more ways than one, man.
God provided in more ways than I even thought He cared to.
Wow.
I didn't know. I didn't know that because in my head I'm like, this ain't nothing but a Charles thought. This ain't nothing but Charles has got a desire, and Charles wants to fulfill his desire. And unbeknownst to me, it was way more than that, man. Oh man, just the thought of what we've been able to do for people
Yep.
and audiences, it is beyond me.
It's you guys are making a huge impact in Northeast Ohio. And what are you guys' plans for the future down the line? Are you going to be making any albums in the future, any EPs, or are you basically going to be focused on the whole engineering and behind the scenes work?
Yeah. So you know, Tony trying to get some information out of me, man. He trying to trap me up, y'all. Um, so I as far as me, I've found my focus is certainly engineering, and my focus is like here and making sure that we're advancing this place as much as possible. Um, However, I have found myself with a little collection of little things that have been worked on for the last 3 years.
Ooh.
Um, so it's a likelihood that Too-Be Fresco may have one more in the can. Oh no, we'll see.
Okay.
But definitely, for us in the future, I see us expanding again more, just to be able to offer more. I see us taking, the events that we have and the events that we host to, a higher level that now begins to, not just give the artist, not just give our artists exposure, but also now starts to offer tangible, like a tangible takeaway, like a actual resource, because that's what ultimately is needed. So all that stuff is still being worked out, thankfully, but I definitely see us expanding and it's really just increasing from where we've been able to focus at, just expanding that focus. I know that sounds really vague. I'm still figuring this out myself, Tony. Uh, but no, man. But in all seriousness, just that expansion, just taking things to a next step, whatever the next step is. If you
Yep.
ask me what that looks like, I have no idea.
That's great, man. You've really got a great head on your shoulders. You've been putting this plan in action. And are there any people that you guys have produced to look out for? Any way for the people to follow you guys and what you do?
Yeah, man. um, man, I'm so sorry. I'm coughing so much. That cold took me out the game last week, dude. It's crazy.
Ohio is just that's that Ohio weather for you.
Oh my goodness, man. Jeez. Um, Artists to look out for. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna be biased for my artists, okay?
Okay.
I got a couple artists that I'm working with who are phenomenal. Now, let me say this: we got a lot of artists that we work with who are phenomenal here, so I don't want to leave nobody out. But I'm gonna just talk about my artists right now. Shout out to my boy Rob Noor. He is going crazy right now. Thousands of Spotify listeners, hundreds of thousands of plays, which is just a beautiful thing to see. So follow Rob Noor. Shout out to Just Mike, producing some crazy Christian warfare music, man. This junk sound, I mean, it's knocking, bro. It sound like Dirty South got cleaned up.
Oh.
Jesus, like it's crazy. It's great. So shout out to Just Mike. Um, who else, man? It's so many people. It's a lot of people. Shout out to Kendra Moore, Destiny Renee, freaking, bro. Who
No.
like? It's so many people. Trey Lou. Shout out to Jelania Swad. Shout out, bro. I will be sitting here for the next half an hour naming people. So
Oh, no worries, man. Thank you for shouting out some people. And where can people follow you guys and follow the page at?
go to our website, www. I don't think people still put the wwws, but btsoundscle.com. That's BT Sounds, plural, CLE.com. It is the same thing for our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter, our TikTok, all of it. Sounds CLE.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Too-Be Fresco. And for those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and follow along the Tapped In with Tony podcast, available on streaming services such as
Now
Spotify.
let me say this, Tony. I just want to put this last note in there, man, and acknowledge you, because
Okay.
I have been watching you doing this since you started a little while back, man. And the fact that you have continued, you've kept going, you have interviews, you're recording, you're progressing. That is motivation for me. So from me, and on behalf of whoever else is watching, thank you for continuing on with this vision that you started. And thank you, God bless you, for allowing me and other people to be a part of it, man. So I want to acknowledge you for what you're doing, brother.
Thank you, man. And thanks for coming on. And everyone out there, thank you guys for listening.